Hi guys, I'm back with another vlog, and today I'm going to be talking about what Fenton Baily had to say about Nelson Sullivan. So the information that I'm sharing with you today is from an article that was published by BettyJack.com. It was a proposal pitched to the BBC for a Nelson Sullivan documentary. The documentary was eventually made, but it was produced by Channel 4 Television. So if you're not familiar with who Fenton Baily is, he is the founder of World of Wonder, which produces RuPaul's Drag Race. It also produced the feature Party Monster and the Party Monster shockumentary. During the period of time that Nelson Sullivan was documenting downtown New York, Fenton Baily was one half of the duo The Fabulous Pop-Tarts. I will put a link to this article below if you want to read through it, and I will also put a card up in the top right corner on the video that I've done previously on Fenton Baily and the Pop-Tarts. So the article starts off, Nelson knew because he was witness to it that downtown was a new society being born. Downtown is where it all began. It being the idea of everyone being famous for 15 minutes. He saw it in Warhol's factory with its freaks, parasites, and their limitless capacity for both self-invention and self-destruction. The beginnings of downtown, it wasn't just another bohemia, but a post-pop society driven and unified by the desire for fame. In documenting his birth, he created a video equivalent of Vasari's Lives of the Artists, especially valuable when given the ephemeral nature of the crucible in which these events took place, club culture. Although Nelson captured much of this, his work is less valuable as a historical catalog than it is as a portrait and analysis of this new society. Because we have been conditioned by the glut of media coverage that skates over the surface to think of Manhattan as a trendy offshore boutique, rather than as a place where real people actually live their lives. We, in fact, know as much about downtown as we do about a tribe that has lived undisturbed deep in the Amazon jungle. Within this context, Nelson's work is an anthropological documentary that takes us beneath the fashionable surface and shows us the reality. The reality is that downtown is a tribe, a loose-knit collection of cultural refugees socially bonded by their rather antisocial ambition to make it. Although not an apple pie Main Street nuclear family, it is an extended family much like a chorus line. Indeed, Nelson's work shows us, in addition to the glorious highs when the show goes on, the individual lows when it's all over, the lonely moments of vulnerability. He was able to do this because most of those he filmed were his friends who trusted him and who, given that Nelson's camera went wherever he went, and was at least for 10 years as natural an extension of his body as his arms or legs, simply forgot that the camera was there. And so the most captivating and poignant parts of Nelson's work is not the famous who have emerged from downtown, but the people who are left behind and who strive in vain for the limelight. One of them himself, Nelson filmed the wannabes, the never-will-bes, and the has-beens, while he captured the glorious orgy of self-invention of those seeking fame and fortune. He also captured the price of it often exacted, the despair and self-destruction that followed, repeated frustration and failure. Christina, for example, was a drag queen and one of Nelson's favorite subjects. He found her dead of an overdose in her room at the Chelsea Hotel just weeks before his own death. So I believe Nelson himself actually contradicts this claim. There are a couple videos where Nelson speaks about the passing of Christina, and he does not say that he found her, but rather she was found. So I'm not clear whether this is correct or not, but this is what Fenton Baily wrote. The article goes on, for many, if not for most, downtown is a place of unrecognized talent and unfulfilled dreams. With its fashion designers, musicians, models, writers, and drag queens, downtown is a madcap school of performing arts. Kids from fame on a bad acid trip. So on Nelson's life, Baily wrote, Nelson's epic canvas of downtown was also a self-portrait since he himself was also one of its unknowns. Even though he had set aside his own dreams and ambitions to document downtown, his work was largely unrecognized even amongst his peers who were never too shy to call him up for free dubs of themselves at parties. Nelson would often complain about this at length to his camera. However, as this film will show, the truth of the matter is that Nelson was a revolutionary filmmaker. He brought his musical skills to his work and created a new cinematography. He would carry the canvas at arm's length, moving through the crowd in graceful curves. He never edited his tapes later, but would edit in camera as he went along. He would accompany his filming with commentary and was never too self-conscious to turn the camera on himself. The result of this combination of crew, cameraman, director, presenter, and editor in a one-man band was carried off with such skill that his footage flowed like music and was orchestrated like a concert, drawing you in and making you feel as if you really were there. The fly-on-the-wall technique of most cinema are distancing in comparison. Although his death cut short his work, it is nevertheless a complete autobiography, since months before his death, Nelson turned the camera on himself, making himself and his ideas eloquently expressed in articulate and witty monologues, the focus of his work. On the passing of Nelson Sullivan, Fenton Baily writes, "When Nelson was alive, he captured downtown at a crucial time, and his death represents downtown's own demise from the ravages of AIDS and the onward march of gentrification. AIDS is decimating the community on a scale unrivaled in San Francisco or London. Aside from the sudden deaths of Andy Warhol and painter Jean-Michel Basquiat, AIDS has recently claimed playwright Charles Lundgren, photographer Robert Mapplethorpe, nightclub owner Steve Rubell, singer Klaus Nomi, artist Keith Haring, and many more, a full roll call of whom would number in the thousands. At the same time, downtown has become an absurdly unstable society, attracted to the arty community and cheap prices. Yuppies have precipitated a property boom, resulting on East 9th Street alone of pricey nouvelle cuisine restaurants competing with crack dealers for clientele, and luxury condo dwellers looking down on Tompkins Square Park, a shanty town of homeless. 2 years ago, Nelson filmed a full-scale anti-gentrification riot, only quelled by helicopters and mounted police, that took place in the park and was as unexpected and unprecedented as the recent poll tax riot in central London." So based on that comment, this would have been published probably in the very early 90s. It goes on to speak about the plans for what the documentary will be, and there is a little bit more detail that the article offers. But for the sake of time, I'm going to leave it at that today. I will link below, so if you want to check out the article. I want to thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to check out some of my other videos or playlists, and if you haven't yet subscribed, you can do so by clicking the kitty. Thanks, and I'll see you guys again for my next upload.